Hello, my name is Mandolin Royal, and today I have some rowdy birds hanging around here. And it's time to get back into this pen of pullets I put together. They're about 8 weeks old now. So it's a great time to sort for initial trait expression. That's their structure, how they feel, how they handle, how much they weigh, what their leg color is, etc., etc. So I'm going to go bird by bird, empty this pen out and get them sorted from good, better, best, wonky, not so bad, and almost perfect. I don't know. 3 different categories, ranking the birds to see how this group shakes out. I also need to clean this pen, and there's enough of them in there that removing them all makes sense. So 2 birds, 1 stone. I get everybody sorted. I know exactly what I'm looking at for now. And the pen gets cleaned out. So next I'll show you what tools I'm going to be using. And I'm going to try to be pretty specific and also pretty efficient in this video. So, moving along. So in front of me, this is my sort cage. I can do 3 different groups, however I decide to rank them. I have a pen. I made sure that it works. I have a notepad for notes, and I'm going to put those notes based on which pen the girls end up into, so it's kind of cataloged that way for today. Then I have a scale, and I have this framework so I can do some filming from above, so I can show you exactly what I'm looking at on least one of them. All set up and ready to go. Alright, moving on. The first thing I do when I'm getting ready to sort a group is I hang out and observe the group. I want to visually find my perceived favorite and start with that bird. You don't have to be that particular about which bird you grab first, but after you get experienced with it and you start running through them, I kind of want to go for that one. She looks nicely rounded, nicely filled out. She's starting to get body width. Her proportions look pretty okay. Her leg color looks pretty okay. That one's a little pale in the leg, but seems to be getting the size and the shape I want to see. That's another one. Now, when you look down at them from above, you can get some early indicators on top body width. That's another one that's probably going to be okay. This one's a little more narrow, not so rounded as some of the peers. Now these guys are all the same age. They all hatch together. That's going to make sorting a lot easier. If they are different ages, it complicates things because the whole point is bird against bird. I'm not basing today's decisions on birds before them, just peer against peer. That one's getting the nice body, but the leg color is a little pale. That one looks a little more narrow than that one. Just take some little visual notes in your brain as you mentally prepare to get the job done. Alright, I need both hands now. Back in a second once I have something else to talk about. Alright, everyone is sorted out, including the 2 males I had in that pen. I have my favorite just walking around. I did have her just hanging out on this table, and of course she pooped, and then of course she walked in it. So now my weight notes have little poo tracks all over it. But you're gonna have that. I also went digging through my calendar to get their actual hatch date, which was April 28th, so they're actually 7 weeks. I feel a lot better about these weights now because I was like, man, did my feeding choices this year have that big of an impact? Seems a little light to me. So in full disclosure, you know I'm a fan of the Fertrell nutrient supplements, and I top dress pretty okay feed with that. and I prefer to top-notch feed, but my best feed is 2 hours away, and I haven't done that this year. So I've been feeding Kalmbach in age-relevant blends, starting with their Showbird starter. I do that for 3 weeks, and then they go to the 20% all flock. And without the Fertrell, I see this could be better, because I know that. I did this last year, dialing in nutrition, and then this year I didn't do it to see what's genetic, what's nutritional, and nutrition matters a lot. But anyways, so the little miss I have walking around, I'm watching her movement, I'm looking at her shape and structure and how she spends her time. But that's our 34.9 ounce record holder female. The bottom group, I found a cockerel, a very slow, very small cockerel. He tested as pullet like 3 weeks ago. That's no longer the case. So technically I found 3 calls based on average weight and the traits that they're showing me. These are the 3. If they're female, they can go on and do breakfast eggs, but based on their growth so far, not breeding quality. And that male that's in there with them, definitely not breeding quality. In the center, there's 8. There's another 34-ounce bird in there, but the leg color was too pale. Now, with leg color, you can change a lot just by breeding selection. These girls all had really good weights, and I can pick a different boy that has that darker leg color, and then the offspring will come up better when we're at that stage. This group is the preferred group. There's 7 females. Now the boy that's in with them, he was the better boy of the 2. He weighed in at 38.4 ounces. The other boy that's in with these guys, he weighed in at 33.7. That's a bit light. I would expect a little bit more, especially since he was a early and good performer. He might end up swapped out with another one when I go through the rest of the boys. They're in their own pen to reduce competition and have a peaceful grow out. But this one pullet that I'm not excited about, but I'm kind of excited about, that's the one I'm going to do a hands-on evaluation for, and I'm going to show you all the little details you can check for at this age of 7 weeks. Alright, let me switch over to the overhead view and get her caught, and we'll talk about what I like and what I don't like about her. Alright, the overhead view is now set. And here she is, the favorite of the day. Whether she stays the favorite for the duration, because there's still a lot more growing to do, we'll find out. Because one concern I have, and this is important for pullets, is she's a little more developed in the comb than I would want to see for this age. She's following the early development trajectory, and that means she might start laying eggs too soon, and that means her finished size might not be that good. She's big right now compared to her peers, but if she stops growing because she started laying eggs too soon, well, that'll pull her out of breeding contention. At least for me. I look for a 5-pound minimum when the first eggs start coming. So if she hits 4 pounds and then stops because her eggs start up, well, she won't meet the minimum. So we'll find out. Now when I'm handling them, I look for that hand feel. There should be a lot of substance, and she has that. Really good fleshing. Her keel is not obvious. I like her temperament too. She's been alert and active, but not freaking out. Curious, watching, but not getting bent out of shape. That's a really good temperament to have in your flock when you have to deal with them every day. You don't want lunatics, and you don't want laziness, and you don't want lacking intelligence. You want a bird that can think as much as they can. She's cute. So some other head notes. My thumb will go across the back of the head, and that is pretty okay width. Another tell is from this view, if you can see a lot of eye on both sides, when you're looking straight down, that's too narrow. You want a width in here that makes it tricky to see the eyes. It's too soon to worry about the comb details. That'll come in as that develops. They're molting and regrowing feathers right now, so I really don't care about the wing right now. But if I did, I'd put my hand underneath that first joint. I'd spread it out and look. What we can see right now is missing feathers and a whole bunch of new growth. Looks pretty good outside of that. So more importantly, back end bone spacing. You can see by the spread of her tail, her back end's probably wide and nice, but it's measurable. And your hands are the measuring tool. And because you're doing bird by bird with your same tool, it doesn't matter that your hand size might be different than mine, because you're only looking at bird against bird. It has nothing to do with my birds and nothing to do with my hands. It's your hand on your birds. So for these hands on these birds, this is what I find for the back end bone spacing. Keep in mind this is 7 weeks old. So I'm looking for the end of the keel bone. Oh, hold still. I need to readjust this. You're fine. You've been so good. So when you find the end of that keel bone, you're looking for that distance up to the two little pin bones that are up here on either side of the vent. So her pin bones are almost 2.5 fingers. That's really good for this age. Now when I go from that little pin bone right there down to where that keel ends, she's already a full 3 fingers. For the age, that's fantastic. The other important part is the front of the bird, where the breast meat is. That's right in here. You want that plump, well filled in for the duration of growth. When I sort at 12 weeks or 14 weeks, I'm even pickier about it then, because I'm looking to process at 14 to 16 weeks. But she's showing the right indicators to be a nicely productive bird, whether for the eggs or for processing. She's got pretty good body capacity just in the width and the depth on her back end. Now length, that also matters. Length begins at the base of the tail. We're almost done. You've been so good. So you can kind of grab up the tail and figure out exactly where that base is. And you can measure that up to where the shoulders are. There's a little V in their shape. And length is from the tip of that V to the base of that tail. She is plenty long enough. Now depth-wise, that's tricky, and it's also a late blooming trait. Depth you measure from the top of the back down to the bottom of the keel in front of the leg. She's like that deep, which doesn't really mean that much right now. Lots more growth to do. So the depth, that's that part right in there. I hope she gets more than she has, but there's a lot more growth to find that out. For now, length, width, bone spacing, weight, fleshing, all great. Leg color is medium, not too pale, not too dark, right smack in the middle of the spectrum. Eye color looks to be coming in at the darker desired color for breed standard, which is something you can't taste, but it matters for breed integrity. So for now, pending her development from here, definitely a leading bird. Definitely the winner of today. Let me go ahead and put her in with these that didn't quite make the cut, so that maybe we get a visual. Oh, come here. You were so good. She's gonna be a cute hen. Here. How different is she? Oh, you can see it in the substance. This is the favorite. Look, she kind of walks in there like she's been there all along. This is the little teeny cockerel. I'm gonna stick him in with the other boys and see if he gets picked on. If he gets picked on, then I don't know. He might be for soup stock earlier than planned. But all in all, I'm pretty happy with this group. And I just keep doing this all season, batch after batch after batch, looking for the preferred birds. Alright, I'm gonna clean the pen, get these guys resettled, and contemplate which group I want to show you guys next. Because I have a lot of chores this week and next week, which is my video opportunity to catch me when I'm doing things. So feel free to like and subscribe, and I'll try to explain those little bitty details on what can help forward progression and flock improvements as you get into the breeding side of things, especially if you're focused on dual purpose. I like to get my meat and my eggs from the same flock, and I want to hatch them myself, and I don't want to ruin it. I want to fix them. Alright, back to work and more on this later.